Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? I see people coming in. If you could please type in the chat box that you can hear me and that everything is working as it should, that would be great. Good morning to you, Miles, Armando. All right. You guys can hear me okay? How's the sound today? Good morning, John, Charles, Keith. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much for that. So, quiet start to the morning. Session is just starting. The U.S. market's just opening up a few seconds ago. Nothing on crude oil yet. There was a really nice move down, but there was just no way to grab it. It just happened without any setups. We have a short trade now off of our blue 20 SMA. And it's a pretty small trade. If you take it, you have to go to target 3, 58.99. And that's targeting 58.85 with a stop at 59.16. Of course, today is the crude oil inventory report. Which we will do. So that's our first trade. If you're using this particular setup, and a similar thing with the pound Aussie, slow morning, pretty strong move down, but just no setup. The setup happened before our start time, and it just missed. Well, we don't actually use the blue line setup on this trade plan. So still waiting on that for something. Unleaded gas had some action this morning. Quite a bit, actually. And you could see here a short. I actually have the automation running just for grins, actually. I was just doing a little homework on this and seeing. Sometimes I like to just pop on the default automation just to see how it does. And what I usually find is that it does really well. You could see here over the last 72 trades, a 75% win rate, $135 average net profit per share. Had 3 losses in a row. Few times. Had some nice winning streaks, though. It's pretty good. I mean, really, $50 average net profit per share is a good benchmark to think about, because if you can do that, then you could build a $10,000 a month income for yourself over the course of 24 months with a $50 average net profit. So imagine a $135 average net profit. Now, we don't know if that's something that holds up or what. It's just a random look at the last, since March 16th. I mean, that's a lot of trades, too. There's probably no power of quitting. We'd have to look at the settings, but it's always nice to see when you pop on a default calculator randomly and you could see results like that. It's usually a good sign. And we know that unleaded gas has been a top performer for a very long time. Unfortunately, crude oil did stop out of that blue trade. So we'll wait for another setup. The Dow E-mini is on a tear. Well, it's up about 70 plus points, but since the market's open, you could see it going straight up. Good morning to you, Robert. Robert, I was happy to hear that you got your UTA working. All right, there's a long on crude. Heads up. 59.16, targeting 59.31 is target 1, and 59.40 is target 2, and the stop is at 94. So the failure to get lower, we'll see if it's finished with these lows here and if it can work its way higher. Kind of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here, you could see. Not sure it's done going down, but that is a reversal trade due to it being oversold. So it's going to have to get through that 50 moving average. So if you're not using the dark blue trade, if you're a SMS Spotlight Gold level member, this would be your first trade. Keep an eye on that. I was looking at unleaded gas on a different time frame also. I thought might be interesting. Same chart, of course, but I set the automation for a later hour, I think. Let's take a look, and then we can discuss it. Yeah, so this one also, you could see, just looking back to March 16th, so it's not even a full month. Only 23 trades, but a nice average. Didn't do so well on shorts. But what's interesting about this, it's looking at the 1800 to 2100 evening hour. So 3 hours in the evening. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's got 3 positions on it. It might be too many, at least if you're starting. And the power of quitting 3. So, I mean, if we were to finesse some of this, we could probably improve the average. But not bad for just randomly popping on some stuff to see how it does. And good morning to you, Mariella. Welcome, welcome. It's always nice to have female traders in our midst. Please feel free to ask questions. There's not a lot to do at the moment. We're just kind of waiting for setups. Unleaded gas is already finished. The pound Aussie, no setup. Crude oil, a little bit in a messy consolidation here. Not sure if it's done testing these lows or if we could see it work its way higher. Trying to get that first winner under our belts there. And the Dow E-mini, just no chance to get on board. I was just looking to see if there's any other exhaustion dots along the way, and you could see that the buyers haven't even paused to catch their breath with no exhaustion dots. Because otherwise, you know, it can always pop over to Counterpunch Trader and see if there's any setups. I have a gold chart. Just happens to be here. I forget why. Maybe we were looking at it the other day. I don't remember now. Some nice trades on gold this morning. I mean, if you look at all the way back, pretty active. So this was 8:19 New York time. So an hour and a half ago, roughly 2.5 hours ago. I mean, wait, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. Yeah, an hour and a half ago, maybe, I guess, huh? A lot of trading in gold. Nice strong winner, a winner, a winner, and a winner, and another trade. And that one had showing signs that it could do really well too, just by the configuration here. How it's breaking support with the exhaustion happening right at that 50 moving average. So there's a good chance it could get to its break-even point. Maybe it's going to happen any moment. But gold's very active this morning. Oh, wow. Yeah, John with an interesting comment. That's true. Um, where was your setup bar? What time? Heads up on the YM. There's a green short trade, 33,374. Remember, target 1 is the primary target on this 14 tick momentum bar, so that's targeting 33,349. And then target 2 is at 335, and the stop at 411 if that triggers in. And crude stopped out, so crude is a little messy this morning. Off to a rough start. Now, maybe that's a good sign heading into our crude oil report. Best trades follow the worst. Hey, Keith. So you think the cable revolution has arrived? I'm not quite sure I'm following you. Let's take a look at John's setup. By the way, the YM triggered in short. So the YM's short. So 839. Now, I mean, this is the perfect opportunity to use the blue line as a setup. It's just not part of the trade plan that we've been using. And I think we would have had a setup here. Just flip it on really quick just to take a look so we can open up just for check it out and see if that kind of looks like your trade. Yeah. Does that look like your setup there, John? Similar? Maybe, are you using the blue line? So that would have been a great trade to take for sure. And you could even see in hindsight now the action move, the reaction into the blue line, and the subsequent action move. So that is really what the purpose is of the blue trade. You might ask why it's red, because I didn't change the color. That is the blue trade off the blue line. Red actually shows up better, doesn't it? But I use red for a different setup, but that's what that is. It's the line off the blue. Oh, okay. So you're using the 20 SMA trade. That's what this is. And then pink, is it off your 200 moving average or oh, I see. You said you didn't get this earlier trade. Got it. Did that one was filtered out because of the crossover filter, the 50 pushing over the 200? Because it looks like for on my chart it just missed the filter. So if it came up 2 bars later, yeah, the filter would have. Yeah, so interesting comment by John, and it shows the data differences because he's using NinjaTrader charts, and just 2 bars over would have filtered out this trade, and then we would have had this trade as a pink setup because you could see it's overbought here with the pink bars stabbing up, and also a green trade would have been one or the other. Just it's bad luck for us. You put it back before I forget. It is an argument for the diamond level because you could do so much with the diamond level. There's so much flexibility. All right, let me just please remind everybody to smash that like button for me. We'd really appreciate it. Hit the like button, give me a thumbs up for getting up so early this morning. I was dead asleep and the alarm went off and I hit the roof. Usually I wake up way ahead, like before I want to, but for whatever reason, I think it all caught up with me. That alarm went off and I was like, oh no, is it Wednesday? Yeah, good luck for you, John. So the YM is slowly working its way down. Needs to get to 33,352. Gonna mark it right there. And gold did not get down to its money management. Instead, it flipped over to long, and then that one got to its money management and then just stopped out at break even. So after a number of winners in a row, a losing trade. It's not the most attractive looking chart. It just happens to be in perfect synchronization with Spotlight. And then there was the Russell. Really sure what to do with the Russell, but this one too did pretty well right out the gate. First trade of the morning, almost got to target 2, then a break-even trade, then another break-even trade, then a losing trade, and then a full winning trade. So pretty good mix. Actually, it's not so bad. A lot of trades, though, in the first 15 minutes. Kind of watching the YM here. So a quick look at the euro yen, and you can see it's been really slow with the short and then the long, and not nearly as active as it has been in the past, that's for sure. And okay, the YM pushing through. So the YM getting to its target objective, hitting its target one right on the nail. 349, got to 349. If you're in that trade, make sure you got filled, but move your stop to 373. So in about, I don't know, 25 minutes or so, we'll log out and I'll get set up for the crude oil report, and then we'll all come back in again for that. This is a great time to ask any questions you have about whatever. And yeah, John, the Russell got the power of quitting. John, are you trading the Russell? I'm curious about that. I've been meaning to ask you. I hear you paying quite a bit of attention to it in the trade room. Move your stop on the YM. It's kind of inching its way lower. 371. Just keeping an eye on the euro yen, which is long now from 130.62, but target one's too small. It's got to get all the way up to target two. Crude with a third short trade. Usually, though, I think after two losses in a row, you're going to want to stop for the session as far as the mini session goes. So that's why I wasn't paying attention to this third trade. Yeah, John has realized something that I learned a long time ago. Does take practice. You have to get set up just right to be able to talk to everyone in the trade room while also focusing on your own trades and not making mistakes and what have you. And I've gotten pretty good at it with the crude oil report, at least. For me, I find that it takes a vertical oriented monitor, one that's in portrait mode that stands up and down so that you could stretch a nice long matrix or dome, perhaps with Ninja. I know you like to trade on the chart. I think you do, but for me, I like using the matrix because I can do stop limit orders, and it has done a wonderful job at eliminating slippage, and that has saved me a lot of money because it's rare when I don't get filled. I mean, I don't even remember the last time. And when I go with market orders, I'm paying slippage every single time, and that's $10 a tick per contract. That's a lot of money. That adds up. It's way more than commissions. So just by going with the stop limit order, I mean, you could see the cost benefit of that. So I prefer the matrix for that reason. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is at the start time is, you know what, John? The Russell is so busy and it moves so much. There's no reason why a later start time couldn't be figured out. I mean, there's plenty of trades. It's so active. I actually have it on my list to spend some extra time with the Russell and see about coming up with something interesting with that. It's just that I've got a lot of things on my list, my ever growing list. Yeah, stop limit on the chart with Ninja is awesome. John, I think we should schedule a Ninja Trader masterclass with you. I wonder if anyone would be interested in something like that. I have a feeling there would be. All right, so if you're just joining us again, thank you, thank you. I see a lot more people have come in. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. Gives me motivation to get up when that alarm goes off. It's still nighttime out. Oh, I do see a little light finally showing up out the window. So it's just a really slow morning this morning. There's not a whole lot to do. Crude oil, kind of a stinker with 2 losses to start. So that one's done. And we're not going to do anything else with that until the report comes out in about 32 minutes. And the YM has already hit its goal. It's one and done, and it's still going. Anyone still in that trade, the stop's about ready to move lower. And you can see it's trying to push through its 200 moving average. There's a lot of support in here, but it looks like it has a good chance of pushing through. And the stop did just move down, 367. There's target 2 on the YM, inches away. And did it hit it? Just barely missing so far. There it goes. Nope. Yes, no. Trying to get to 335, getting to 335. So ring the dinner bell on the YM, hitting a perfect target on target 2. Yeah, that would have been a good trade to catch, John. I'm happy for you. If anyone's in the YM, you could take a look at the balance line and you can kind of anticipate where the stop is going to move to when you click on the current bar that's forming. It did just move down again to 362. So when you see it moving like that, you can click on it. You can see that the balance line is at 353. And then you know that 2 ticks above that, and then you got to figure on working around 5s and 10s with your adjustment, is where the stop is going to end up going. So as each bar closes below the balance line, the stop is going to move 2 ticks beyond it. The balance line could end up at a different number depending on the strength of the move lower. Euro yen in a little bit of a choppy area, stopping out and getting short again here. Remember, we're just kind of checking this out to see if it's worth our time and effort. And so far, I've been unimpressed. Target 3. Of course, I haven't looked closely enough at the euro yen, so I'm really just kind of speaking off the top of my head here based on what I've seen in the room only. I have others that have told me it's tested pretty well. So we're targeting 320 at target 3, and it's gotten as low as 321. All right, move your stop on the YM. 352. So next week, just by looking at the calendar and where all the, where the dates fall, we have to watch crude oil volume. It's hard to know exactly when it will roll over. I suspect that it won't be until Monday when we go to the June contract, M, just like the E-minis. But it could be as early as Friday, even Thursday. So we'll have to keep an eye on things next week. Make sure you check your volume. And when you see the volume roll to the front month, then just move your chart to the next month, and that's it. No looking back. The 18th is usually the drop dead date, but that's a Sunday, so it could happen sooner. All right, there's a long trade on the pound Aussie. Long at 8036. 8036. I would like to see it maybe test these lows and then see if it goes up. Because it's a pretty strong trend at this point. Those green trades could be pretty strong. So when you have the trend strength part of the OSOB indicator moving up like this, you can see Kevin is sending out the trade a day alerts here. That's a reflection of the strong trend. In this case, the trend is down, and it got way overbought. It's overbought by our blue bars poking up. It's also overbought by the green trend strength indicator getting way up there. I mean, it only has to get above the yellow line, and it got way above, as you can see. And that's what gave us the setup. Not sure it's done testing these lows here. All right, I have to keep saying good morning because more and more people keep filtering into the room. So let me just give you a big welcome. If you're just joining us, please say hello. Let us know you're here, who you are. Tell us a joke. It's always better when there's some interaction with one another so that I don't continue to just ramble. And the stop has moved down to 351 on the YM. It moved down one more tick to 351. Hello, Ed. Good morning to you. YM stalled at the 50 FIBO. Yeah, well, let's take a look. It just stopped out. So that's interesting. Yeah, so it's those fib lines are interesting because I think you're probably referring to this, right? You got a pretty strong move up, good action move. And if you look at, imagine this on a higher time frame. I don't know what that would be. A 5-minute chart, a 15-minute, I don't know. We'd have to look, but a reaction then. And I always think a reaction between 1/3 to 2/3 of the action move. And that's usually lines up with a fib line retracement. But that is about 50% of the way, isn't it? Just visually looking at the move from here to here, down to here. So, is this setting up a strong leg higher? Because when you have your action, reaction, subsequent action, the subsequent action tends to mirror the first action. Doesn't mean it is. We could have a new action move down instead. But keep an eye on it. But I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah, Ed? I can't draw fib line retracements because I've got my fib line retracement tool recalibrated for target projections using Spotlight or Counterpunch. Good morning to you, Brett. I have another tool that I use to project the subsequent action move. I don't really talk about it or show it much, but I've also reprogrammed this tool, the fib price extension lines, and I've got this one set up with a unique style of trading. One of these days, maybe we'll do a workshop on it. I'll show it to you. It's where you identify an action move, and in this case, a reaction, and then you got some nice projections up above of where that subsequent action move could go. See that? It's pretty cool. Works really well too. But it takes practice, and the thing is that identifying where the end of the reaction is always the tricky part. That's why I like to use this 20 SMA a lot. And this turquoise line, the cyan line, that would be the entry. So it hasn't even hit the entry yet. And it could cancel if it comes down and makes a new low here. But that's an interesting tool. It's an interesting style of trading. It's something I used to do years ago, and I've been revisiting it because I did really well with it in the past. Good morning, John W. So I don't mean to sound like a broken record, guys, but if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. All right, and anyway, as you can see, the YM did stop out, and it's one and done. And in about 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going to kick you all out, and then you'll have to come back in again because I'm going to restart for the crude oil report. Keep that separate from this session here. Pound Aussie got long. And you know what? I need to grab this trade. Got distracted with showing you stuff. So remember, when you're oops. When we're using the trade a day, all we have to do is copy and then hit the parse button, and then the trade is automatically placed with all the targets, the stop movement to break even, all of it. Pretty cool how that works. And it makes trading easy, especially when doing the trade room. So if it comes back up, I'll be in the trade with you guys. All right, so this is your last chance to ask questions. If you have a short question, because in about 2 or 3 minutes, we'll close this session out so that I have time to get the next session started and get all set up for the crude oil report, which is coming out in 17 and a half minutes. So, any questions? Oh, John, I didn't draw the connection. No, thank you too. You're very welcome. All right, so here's the thing. I'm going to kick you guys out and then just come right back in, all right? I'll get the next session up and running. It'll take me probably 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be back in for the crude oil report. All right, so I'm gonna end the stream now, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes.